Welcome back to Golf the BRX's Winning What's in the Bag, where this week we are taking a look at Aaron Rai's Winning What's in the Bag from the 2024 Wyndham Championship. This is Aaron's first win on the PGA Tour, so congratulations to him. Always a huge thing to get your first win, so he is locked in for, I believe, the next 2 years. He's going to the Masters. Whole lot of doors open up when you win your first tournament. So we'll take a look at his bag, and we'll start from the top. And of course, he is playing the TaylorMade M6. Yes, you didn't hear that wrong. It is the TaylorMade M6. This is a 9-degree head that was released in 2019. So this one here still has twist face to it. It actually has a carbon crown, carbon plates on the bottom, and it actually moves about 46 grams of weight back and low in the head for added forgiveness. So this wasn't even the adjustable M5 head that we saw a lot on tour. This is the more forgiving, easier to hit M6 head, and it is shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus Blue 8X. So yes, in the driver he's playing the 8X, which is the 80-gram range, comes in at 86 grams and 3 degrees of torque. So an old-school driver, but it works for him, and it's still going strong. When he gets into the 3-wood, he does get into a newer model. This is going to be the TaylorMade Qi10 3-wood. This is the 15-degree head. Not sure what it is actually measured at, but the 15-degree head, and it is shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus Blue 8X. So same shaft as the driver. This is kind of the mid-launch low spin shaft. It's got a firm handle section, a stiff midsection, and an ultra stiff tip. And again, offers really smooth feel, controlled spin, kind of a mid-launch option there from Fujikura. Then he moves into a 5-wood, and the 5-wood is, again, another TaylorMade product, and it is the TaylorMade Qi10 5-wood. So again, the standard model, bonded hosel, a little bit bigger, a little higher launch, a little more spin than the Qi10 Tour. This one is shafted up with a Fujikura, and this is an 18-degree head for the 5-wood, 18-degree head, and it's shafted up with a Fujikura Ventus TR Blue 8X. So the TR Blue is going to be slightly different than the regular Ventus Blue. It's got a little stiffer handle section. They put some spread toe material right underneath the grip area, so it reinforces it, makes it a little bit stouter. I consider it kind of like a slightly mid-low launch, low spin shaft. And in the 80-gram or the 8X, it comes in as 88.5 grams at 2.6 degrees of torque. So then we move into his hybrid, and his hybrid is actually the Titleist TSR2. So this is, again, the slightly more forgiving model. They did make a TSR3, a little lower spinning, a little flatter launch. But this is the TSR2, a little more forgiving, a little higher launch, 24-degree head, but he is playing the SureFit hosel set at D1. So D1 is going to take 0.75 degrees of loft off. It's going to keep the lie angle the same, so it's going to play closer to 23 degrees there. And it is shafted up with a Mitsubishi Tensei CK Pro White hybrid. This is kind of low launch, low spin hybrid shaft from Mitsubishi. They don't make it anymore. It's been replaced by the 1K. But this one, it is a 90TX, so right around 90 grams. But it's low launch, low spin, extremely smooth. I don't remember if the hybrids had boron in them. I know the wood ones did for some added feel and added compression as the shaft flexed. And then we move into irons. And his irons are going to be the TaylorMade P7 TWs, so the Tiger Woods blades. I know we've talked about these before. Scotty Scheffler plays them. Tommy Fleetwood, a bunch of players use these P7 TWs. These were designed with TaylorMade with Tiger Woods, so they're to his specs. Slightly longer blade length, very thin top line, thin sole that's machined, so you get the same sole every time you get a new set. Which is important to these players on a tour who do switch sets more frequently than you or I do. And they've got like a small, I believe, tungsten plug right in the dead center to move some more mass right behind the ball. But overall, a really great set of blades. He plays 5 through 9, and he plays them with True Temper Dynamic Gold S300s. These aren't tour issue or anything like that. They're just Dynamic Gold S300 shafts. So they're about 130 grams, low launch, low spin, but this is a stiff flex, not an X100 or anything like that, a little softer. And that's just what Aaron likes. For wedges, his are some unique wedges. He plays a pitching wedge, and it is actually a Titleist Vokey SM9. Now, there's nothing on the sole other than pitch. They basically either ground off or filled in the sole. It's completely there, and it just says pitch for pitching wedge. It is stamped with a 44-degree mark on the back of it, and it does start life as a 46.10F. So then they bend it a little bit strong, maybe grind the sole, maybe fill it in. Not 100% sure what they do with that sole there, and then they just stamp it pitch. So then you move into his gap wedge, and his gap wedge is the same thing. It just actually says gap on it. So it's a Titleist Vokey SM9, the sole out near the toe where you'd usually see the loft. just says GAP, G-A-P. They just stamped it in there. There's no other markings, anything like that. And it is actually 49 degrees if you look on the back of it. And it started out life as a 48.10F. So the F grind, of course, full sole, meant for square shots and great for not digging. Makes a lot of sense in the pitching and gap wedge. So then a sand wedge is another Titleist Vokey SM9, and it's actually just on the sole says sand. It's just a sand wedge. It's just a sand. There's no markings. It starts out life as a 54.14 F grind. And then, of course, like I said, they do something to the sole and then just stamp it in. But it is bent to 55 degrees, as I stated, with that stamping on the back of it. So again, another F grind there, a whole lot of bounce. The nice thing with starting with an F grind is that guys on tour like an Aaron Dale or something like that could grind that sole to however Aaron Rai likes it. However he wants that sole, they can kind of modify it and take some weight off because there's a lot of material there on the bottom of the sole. And then Lob Wedge, as you think, it's a Titleist Vokey SM9 that's just stamped Lob. And just stamped out there on the toe. It starts life as a 60.04 L grind. And it is a 59, but it is playing at 59 degrees as stamped on the back. So it's playing 1 degree strong. But that one there does look like they've left it, the L grind looks like it's intact there. When you look, there's a lot of trailing edge relief. There's relief out in the heel, out in the toe, just like a standard L grind would have. But it, again, just says Lob on it. All these are shafted up with True Temper Dynamic Gold S300 wedges, or wedge shafts. So again, these are just shafted up with the standard S300 that we've all loved and played for years and years. So putter, he has a TaylorMade HydroBlast TP DuPage. This is kind of a mallet there with two kind of holes on the top side when you look down on the flange. But it's got twin 25-gram weights in the sole, and it has a SuperStroke Tour 1.0P grip on it that is fairly worn. Probably used to see a replacement, but after you win, you're probably not going to replace anything there. For ball, he is playing the Titleist Pro V1, so the 3-piece, slightly lower spinning, lower trajectory ball from the Pro V1 lineup, a little softer feel, still has great curbside control, lots of spin with the wedges. So that is Aaron Rai's winning what's in the bag from the 2024 Wyndham Championship. Congratulations again to him on his first PGA Tour victory. And welcome back, or join us next week when we take a look at the winners what's in the bag.